Chosen one, this moment was made for you. You didn't stumble here by chance. You were guided here, handpicked for what's about to be spoken over your life. You may feel overlooked right now, like your voice has been drowned out, like no one really sees who you are or what you carry. But let me tell you, you are not invisible, and you are not forgotten. What's stirring inside you is not ordinary, and neither are you. You've been walking through shadows others wouldn't survive. You've been holding on to dreams that others would have let go of by now. That quiet fire in you, it's proof you're set apart. Heaven has been watching. Every step you've taken in faith, every tear you've cried in private, every silent prayer you thought went unnoticed, it's all been recorded. You've been trusted with this season because you're stronger than you realize and closer to breakthrough than you think. So lean in. This is your confirmation. This is your reminder. You are chosen. You are needed. And you are about to see why the waiting was worth it. Looking for purpose and peace? Hit subscribe and start the journey. The guidance arriving in this season remains concealed because it carries a weight beyond common understanding. The quiet directions unfolding are not for every observer to interpret or weigh. Not every presence around can withstand the magnitude of what is forming, nor do all deserve access to the chamber where new realities are seated. That is why the message approaches on a whisper, shielded from noise and scrutiny. This is not a matter to display or justify. It asks only to be trusted and carried out. To explore this sacred insight more deeply, let it be unwrapped in 5 layers. Before diving into these hidden truths, take a breath, center yourself, and engage fully. This is not ordinary speech. It is a signal meant for those who have endured isolation, storms, and unseen refining. You have not been dismissed, nor are you lagging behind, nor left stranded. This moment serves as a gentle but powerful echo from beyond to remind you of your place and your progress. Every act of alignment, whether it's through silent prayer, thoughtful support, or simply showing up with a willing heart, is being witnessed beyond what eyes can see. None of it disappears into nothingness. Instead, it awakens unseen gardens already germinating. If this resonance stirs something deep and undeniable within you, if it feels as though the words found you at the exact right time, mark your acknowledgement now in whatever way you feel moved. That motion itself becomes a private signal of readiness, carrying its own language. Make your impact eternal. Join now and be a light in someone's darkness. Not all who began this journey will remain until the closing chapter. The words here are meant for those who stayed tender yet unshaken, those who held steady even as the familiar fell away. They are for the ones who moved through shadowed valleys unnoticed, who acted when no applause came, who kept walking when paths dissolved beneath them. These words are alive. They adjust, they grow, they reach into the depths of you. They do not expire after a single encounter, but continue to spark revelation every time you return. What is opening here is not a single instruction, but an intricate pattern being revealed step by step. It unfolds like hidden architecture beneath the surface, revealing itself as you are ready to perceive more. When doubts arise, return and let it speak anew, because each visit brings a fresh layer of clarity waiting to be discovered. This is a chapter of quiet preparation before an unveiling, a moment meant to anchor strength in the unseen. Every significant shift begins with an unnoticed hour, a hush where the soul receives what the world cannot yet comprehend. That is the ground beneath these words now. If your heart overflows with divine love, now is the moment to let it shine. Click the super thank you button on YouTube and give $50 or more to help carry God's light to others. Your gift will bless not only your life, but countless others. You are part of His sacred plan. Your kindness may be the answer to someone's prayer. Share your blessings and honor His kingdom. May His grace guide you always. What seems like a pause is not stagnation. It is briefing in disguise. The message arrives privately, not because it is small, but because it is priceless. Throughout the ages, those entrusted with change first received it away from the crowd. One walked into a dry expanse with strange instructions, hammering them into reality, while others dismissed and ridiculed. Another ascended a barren height alone, where flame and silence revealed a path meant to free generations. Another heard her destiny whispered into her ear and tucked it into her heart, while others, could not fathom its weight. None of these moments came by chance. Each carried a deliberate pattern of trust unfolding behind closed doors. The stillness now surrounding everything is not rejection but refinement. The solitude is not a verdict but a sanctuary. What is happening beyond view is intentional, an invitation to tune into the quiet, where fragile beginnings take shape without interruption or interference. The vision forming inside does not need applause, nor does it require a committee to approve it. Its only demand is faithfulness. Soon enough, what is being built here will emerge into sight, spoken of and remembered by many. But first comes this still chamber, before the bright stage, the delicate sketch, before recognition, the silent conception. There is already a blueprint inscribed within, waiting for its moment to breathe. It cannot yet be touched, but it lives, growing layer by layer, where no one else is watching. The heavens are not waiting for the world to nod. They are waiting for quiet courage to step forward. At this depth, silence itself is the test. The question is whether the vision can be held without spilling it in impatience, whether it can grow in shadow without clamoring for light too soon, whether it can be built before there is a single cheer. The stillness is not emptiness, but a hidden vault, containing what only a trustworthy soul can carry. This is a sacred season of restraint, not neglect. What feels like being unseen is actually being shielded. What feels like delay is the shaping of readiness. So do not try to rush away from what feels heavy or lonely. Do not mistake this quiet for abandonment or error. This is the proof of being chosen. What begins in secret becomes the story celebrated later. But until that happens, hold the instruction close. Guard the map being unfolded, and keep moving forward unseen. First comes the hidden obedience. Then the unveiling follows. This stage of the journey feels heavier, because what has been entrusted here is not light or fleeting. It carries depth, timing, and unseen battles that others cannot comprehend. What you've glimpsed is not meant to be scattered like ordinary talk. It's not shaped for idle curiosity, but reserved for those with prepared hearts. What has appeared before you shows a horizon far removed from where you stand today. You've carried questions no one else seems to understand, felt a weight no one else seems to feel, and held truths you never sought, yet cannot release. That strange ache, to voice it, to find someone who can meet you in that space, lingers, but not because you're abandoned. The quiet around you is no accident, it's a safeguard. Silence in this moment is not punishment. It is shelter for something fragile and sacred. History has shown how easily delicate things can be shattered in the wrong hands. One revealed his vision too soon and met betrayal. Another confided his secret where it was not honored and paid a devastating price. The error was never in what they carried, only in where they laid it. Make your impact eternal. Join now and be a light in someone's darkness. Even wisdom itself warns against placing what is rare and priceless before those unable to recognize its worth. Not because it lacks value, but because some minds will trample what should be honored. So guard this quietly forming vision. It is not yet ready to withstand storms of doubt or careless words. No one would take a seedling into a tempest expecting it to survive. In the same way, this dream is still tender and must be shielded while it grows its roots. Unveiling it too early allows others to weigh it down with fears. Explaining it to the wrong audience invites their skepticism to dilute your conviction. Opening your heart where there is no discernment risks replacing your faith with their confusion. Not everyone harbors malice. Some simply lack the depth to understand the magnitude of what you carry. They are not your enemies, just unprepared for your assignment. Do not shrink to appease their discomfort. You are not tasked with convincing them to see what they cannot yet perceive. Walk with discretion. Move without noise. Protect what has been planted in you. Let the moment of revealing belong to its rightful time. What has been growing in the dark will eventually announce itself through its own evidence, flourishing beyond doubt, silencing every question. Those who once couldn't hold space for what you carried will stand witness to what quiet obedience and unwavering faith can build. Remain covered, stay deliberate, and keep trusting the process. This vision was never meant for everyone, only for those ready to steward it. The measure of depth here is revealed in how still the hands remain while following an unseen path. The most profound acts of trust leave no echo. demand no witness, and seek no applause. True devotion unfolds behind the curtain, when no one notices, no one praises, and no one even comprehends what is being built. If your heart overflows with divine love, now is the moment to let it shine. Click the super thank you button on YouTube and give $50 or more to help carry God's light to others. Your gift will bless not only your life, but countless others. You are part of His sacred plan. Your kindness may be the answer to someone's prayer. Share your blessings and honor His kingdom. May His grace guide you always. It is not only about what steps are taken, but about the spirit with which they are taken. Many can walk forward when the way is lit, when the crowd cheers, when the harvest is already visible. But real strength appears when the signal is faint, when the air is heavy with uncertainty, and yet the feet keep moving. That quiet resolve draws the attention of the eternal. Because, if we are honest, noisy obedience is often hungry for validation. It yearns for acknowledgement, for others to say, "Look how committed they are." Quiet obedience, however, seeks nothing but harmony. It does not care how it looks to the crowd. It only cares about standing in step with the higher rhythm. When the hidden step is taken, the kind no one else understands, the kind no one else even knows about, it does not go unnoticed beyond the veil. There's no need to announce what is already being recorded elsewhere. Alignment requires no stage. Walking this way without the need for admiration, acting without reassurance, and creating without applause is the truest sign of readiness. The unseen can then be entrusted to you, knowing you will not turn sacred things into spectacle. Immaturity craves to be visible. Maturity embraces invisibility, if that is what the journey asks. Those who are kept away from the spotlight for a time are not neglected but protected until the moment calls. When the whisper comes, you hear it. When the gentle urging comes, you respond. When you are kept away from eyes, you do not claw to be seen. That posture, that quiet willingness, this is the kind of spirit that can be lifted higher. There are thresholds of responsibility and favor that remain closed until you prove you can handle delicate instructions with unwavering trust. Trust that does not waver in shadows. Trust that does not beg for confirmation. Trust that persists without spectators. This is what it looks like to be aligned. This is the stance of one prepared for greater things. If the question in your heart has been why your work remains unseen, why your voice has not yet been called, why your gift seems unacknowledged, the answer may simply be this. The test is in how you carry yourself when no one else is watching. When that lesson is fully lived, the next chapter unfolds. Keep stepping softly. Keep carrying out what you are given away from the crowd, because what is cultivated in private is already being shaped into what will won. The moment pressing in now is not random, and its urgency is not accidental. What stirs inside may feel abrupt, awkward, or even unreasonable to the mind, but it is aligned perfectly with something greater already in motion. Some instructions come without explanation, clothed only in immediacy. This is one of those times. Forces unseen have already begun to arrange themselves, pathways opening, unseen hands making way, faces you've yet to meet being moved to support you, and provisions inching toward your reach. For that intricate web to come fully alive, your next step matters, not tomorrow, not after another round of reassurance, not when you've rehearsed it enough to feel ready. Waiting too long at this point can unravel what has already been delicately prepared. What looks like a small decision now is actually the trigger for a chain reaction waiting to ignite. One missed note can throw the entire melody off tempo. This is no time to pause and justify the move to those who cannot hear what you've heard. Some will question you simply because they have not felt what you felt in that quiet moment of revelation. They were not present when the fire was placed in your chest. They do not feel its heat. There's no obligation to explain yourself. There's no reason to advertise what you're about to do. This has nothing to do with admiration or applause. It has everything to do with precision, sacred timing that cannot be delayed without consequence. When the call comes, your response must echo its urgency. This step is woven into a larger strategy already unfolding beyond your sight. You may wonder how much weight this single action could carry. What you cannot see is the series of doors it will unlock and the rivers it will set flowing. The moment your feet move, the atmosphere adjusts. Barriers dissolve, delayed blessings are set free. Alignments click into place like gears long waiting for your signal. That is why distractions appear louder now, and fear presses closer. It's not because you're on the wrong path. It's because you are nearing the threshold of something irreversible. You don't need to chart the whole course before taking the first step. You don't need every answer when the next direction will meet you mid-stride. You're not being asked to solve everything. You're being asked to trust enough to begin. Trust means advancing even when the horizon is still a blur. This is not a random test, nor is it a performance to impress. It is a measure of how aligned you are willing to become when it matters most. The question is, will you move while the moment is ripe? This kind of trust separates those who merely hear from those who actually carry out what they receive. This kind of obedience is what opens doors no one can shut. Right now, you stand before a threshold, unfamiliar, heavy with significance, charged with quiet holiness. What you choose next carries more than just personal consequence. It will ripple outward, touching the lives linked to you, shaping what comes after you, and etching its impact where it cannot be erased. The season you are in carries an unusual weight, invisible yet undeniable. Outwardly it may seem calm, but beneath the surface it thrums with intensity, a quiet storm of preparation and intention. This is not a test of skill or performance, but of trust and alignment. What happens here has little to do with your abilities or credentials. It is not about how well you impress others or how much you can achieve visibly. This test runs deeper. It measures the condition of your spirit when no one is watching. This is about whether you can cradle something delicate without rushing to display it. The question hovering over you now is intimate. Can you hold onto a revelation without turning it into a spectacle? Can you protect what has been entrusted to you without trying to convert it into validation? The silence surrounding you is not punishment wearing a disguise. It is promotion waiting to bloom. The stillness does not signify rejection but refinement. Remaining quiet is not weakness, but strength disguised as discipline. This is not about how much you can accomplish. It is about how much you can bear without breaking. Before you are trusted to carry others, to lead at scale, to speak to multitudes, you must first demonstrate the ability to carry the sacred in private. The whispers, the timing, the instructions. Can you walk forward without knowing where it leads? Can you act without seeing the outcome? Can you stay faithful when nothing resembles what was promised? These are the questions that set apart those who are merely talented from those who are truly trusted. These quiet examinations take place before anything visible emerges. Perfection is not required here. What matters is humility, steadiness, the willingness to work unseen, and the strength to remain obedient even when you do not fully understand. The reason the instruction comes softly is not because it is trivial, but because its weight demands careful handling. The closer you draw, the fainter the whisper becomes, a way to test how attuned you really are. The more precious the assignment, the more hidden it must remain. Some words are not given for a stage. They are meant for inner transformation, not outer attention. They are meant to shape you before they ever shape anyone else. Right now you stand in sacred territory, holding something eternal in seed form. How you carry it in these hidden moments determines what doors will open ahead. When you walk through this quietly, honoring what you've been given with reverence and restraint, new realms of influence and authority will reveal themselves, dimensions you never imagined possible. But the proving ground comes first. You must be willing to move without clarity, to serve without title, to wait without resentment, and to speak only when the timing is right. Those who are entrusted with the greatest impact have always been tested the deepest. You are standing in that test now. So do not despise the quiet. Do not rush out of this process. What feels like delay is actually design. You are not forgotten here. You are being carefully shaped. This is not about gathering followers or seeking attention. This is about keeping what is entrusted to you pure, untainted, and ready. It is not about gaining a platform. It is about fulfilling a purpose. The stage you stand on now does not require defense, explanation, or persuasion. There is no need to justify the path you've walked or to convince those who were never meant to understand. What is about to unfold will speak louder than anything you could ever say. In quiet, you persisted. You moved when no one paid attention. You followed the unseen thread of direction when it seemed to lead nowhere. You kept building in silence while others doubted, and you held steady when the world expected you to stop. Now the time comes when what was hidden begins to shine, not through your effort to prove, but because the evidence cannot be ignored. What has been quietly growing in secret is about to emerge with a force that words alone could never capture. You are becoming living proof, not just of faith spoken, but faith lived. Not just of trust declared, but trust embodied in dark, unseen moments. You never needed an audience to validate what you were doing. You simply kept going, step by step, breath by breath, when nobody cheered and nobody noticed. Because of that, the reward will not whisper, it will roar. Your quiet devotion will blossom into undeniable favor. Your private surrender will unfold into public recognition. You will no longer have to defend your choices, explain your silence, or respond to those who could not see. The very people who once questioned your resolve will witness what happens when a soul keeps walking even when unseen. Those who doubted will see the outcome for themselves. Those who called it reckless will realize it was wisdom. Those who left will understand they walked away from someone who was walking in alignment all along. This kind of breakthrough does not need banners or declarations. It arrives fully formed, undeniable in its weight, impossible to ignore. It reveals itself through results, outcomes so precise they silence critics and quiet doubts. You are not required to strive for visibility. You are not called to chase applause. You are not meant to beg for acknowledgement. What is about to appear carries a signature that cannot be forged. The ones who scoffed will stand in awe. The same voices that questioned your stillness will have to honor what it produced. The same eyes that dismissed your hidden labor will witness the unveiling of what was growing all along. This is more than a victory. It is a revelation of what faith truly builds. It is the unveiling of a heart shaped in silence, of character formed in shadows, of strength refined where no one was watching. What's coming will require no words. It will need no defense. It will not ask for permission to arrive. The evidence will speak. The outcome will declare what was true all along. The transformation will be so clear, so intentional, so beyond imitation that no one will be able to deny it. It will carry a depth that cannot be staged and a light that cannot be dimmed. The quiet that surrounds you now is not an accident. The sense of being unseen, of feeling like your presence goes unnoticed, carries purpose you cannot yet grasp. The reason your name has not echoed in halls, your gift has not yet been displayed, your moment has not arrived, has nothing to do with lack and everything to do with timing. What you perceive as delay is not failure. It is the patience of something greater at work, holding you steady until the right hour. When the signal has not yet come, your task is to remain rooted, faithful, and silent. You are not being sidelined, you are being safeguarded. You are not overlooked, you are being preserved. Even if it feels like you're ready to step forward, there is still a deeper foundation being laid within you. Even if you feel capable of leading now, strength of character is still being tempered to match the weight of what lies ahead. The hidden seasons form the strongest warriors. Here, resolve hardens, clarity sharpens, and destiny locks into place. Even those who carried the greatest assignments spent years outside the gaze of others, living unnoticed, preparing in obscurity, growing unseen. Their silence was not emptiness. Their waiting was not waste. Their quiet was not neglect. It was intentional design. One tended to fields far from the eyes of the palace before the crown ever touched his head. Another spent years in rooms no one cared to enter before stepping into a role that would rescue a nation. Even the most extraordinary callings began quietly, sheltered from attention, hidden from applause. This same pattern holds true for you. The ones kept back longest are often those destined to resound the loudest. The ones who endure the silence without rebellion are the ones revealed in fullness when the time is right. This time away from eyes is sacred, not barren. It is a sanctuary, not a sentence. You are not simply waiting here. You are being strengthened, refined, and shaped beyond what you can yet see. All craving for validation is being stripped away. Every urge to be recognized too soon is being burned off. When your unveiling comes, it will arrive through the hands of the one who began this work in you, not through your striving. When that hour arrives, no one will be able to shut what has been opened. No one will dismiss what has been revealed. No one will take credit for what has been set into motion through you. That is why this cannot be forced. You cannot manufacture what only destiny can deliver. You cannot rush what only alignment can produce. You cannot climb into a place meant to unfold on its own. The same voice that called you into this quiet will call you into the light when it is time. And when that call comes, you will know it was worth every silent moment.